So we're going to begin with a warm-up. I'm going to put something on the screen, and I want you to tell me what these things are on the screen. They're all what? Sounds, yeah. Or if you want a special word, we call them phonemes. Yeah, they're phonemes. And what I want you to do, you can do this in your groups, in your tables. See if you can make me one English word using all of these phonemes.
All of them?
Use all of them to make one word. And the answer is not spaghetti. Who can make one word? Nice idea, but it's not Cambridge. Good. Any other ideas? Yes, madam. Lovely. Vocabulary. Vocabulary. Just have a look. See if you can work it out. Vocabulary. Vocabulary. Does it look like Japanese to some of you? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There we are. Vocabulary. 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 There's the real word. You see this here? Does anybody know what sound that is? That's the name of it, but what's the sound? Ah. It's a bit like somebody hits you in the stomach, isn't it? Ah. Yeah? And we've got schwa here, and we've got schwa here. But what do you notice about the sound down here? Yeah, look, they're different vowels, aren't they? Different letters in the normal alphabet, but same sound, yeah, in the phonemic alphabet. So what does that tell us about sounds in English? What does it tell us?
Confusing.
Sorry?
Confusing.
Oh, no, it's not. Don't be cynical. Yes, sir?
The sounds are not related to the letters, actually.
I'll give you half a mark. They are related to the alphabet, but yes, madam.
The sounds have different ways of spelling in different letters.
Depending on what?
Stress
and position, where they actually appear. So it's the letters around the other letters which determine the sound. So we can have the same phonemic sound, but it has a different alphabet representation. And it also works the other way. Look at the letter A. Yeah, so it works the other way around as well. We can have the same alphabet letter, but it actually has different sounds depending on where it actually appears in the word itself. Who uses the phonemic alphabet in their lessons? Anybody? One hand, two hands. Don't worry if you don't. It doesn't matter if you don't. The only point I'm trying to make here is that knowing the sounds is actually a very, very important part of learning language. And sometimes we can use sounds in order to help our learners. Okay, so how many individual words can you make from the word vocabulary? In your groups, you have 60 seconds. How many words can you make from vocabulary? For example, cab. There's one word. So in your group, 60 seconds starting now. How many words can you make? Make a list.
Very. Vocal. Very.
Make a list. Write a list.
Very.
You stopped. 10 seconds left. Okay, time's up. Time's up. How many did you get? How many words?
8.
3, 4, Any more than 12? Any more than 12? Okay, can one of you shout out? Shout out your words, nice and loud. Everybody listen, see what they got.
Burn, boy, bar, very, buy, lab, cold, vocal, crab, club, carol, vocal.
Excellent, brilliant, well done, good job. How many words do you think are actually possible? How many words can be made from vocabulary? You've got 12. How many do you think?
Probably 1,000.
1,000, the lady says. If you Google this, it's actually 175, according to Google. According to Google. Oh! According to Google. And I'm sure some of these words we've never heard of them, so don't worry about it. Okay, so, which of these words from this primary course from Cambridge University Press, which of these vocabulary items could you use in order to do a similar activity to the one we've just done? For example, the word sandwich. Would that be a good word to use for this type of activity?
Yeah.
Why? Why is it a good word?
It's got 2 vowels.
It has 2 vowels, yeah?
It's so many.
Sorry, lady here?
It's not.
It's not. Why? And so? Just because a word is long doesn't mean it's a good word for this particular type of activity. We have got 2 vowels, but look at the other letters. W, H. Quite difficult to make words with these particular letters. So it's a nice word to eat, but maybe it's not a good word for this particular activity. What about this word? Chicken. Chicken? Is it good for this activity?
Not that good.
Right, it's difficult again because we've got H, we've got 2 C's, we've got K, so it's not a very good word. What about cake?
Same thing.
This time it's too short, isn't it? We don't have many options. What about tomatoes? Not enough consonants. If we had to choose one word, which would be the best word, do you think? Yeah, maybe sandwich or tomatoes, but not cake and not chicken because we don't have any options. So, let me ask you a question. Is this a good vocabulary activity? Why? Why is it a good vocabulary activity? It gets students thinking, good, and thinking about what? Eating? Thinking about? Okay, yeah, good, and? Building words, yeah, and?
Activating their prior knowledge.
Yeah, activating their prior knowledge, and? Yeah, to get them excited because it's competitive, it's a little game. It is like a game, yeah. So when would you do it in the lesson? Beginning, middle, end of the lesson? When would you do it? Yeah, it's quite a nice way to begin a lesson, isn't it? But also, you look at your watch, I've got 5 minutes left, what shall I do? It's a nice activity to do at the end of the lesson as well. Okay, so, I want to show you something which a very famous expert in language teaching said, a gentleman called Stephen Krashen. Have you heard of Stephen Krashen? No? Okay, he's going to be very sad you haven't heard of him, but never mind. Stephen Krashen said this. When students travel, they don't carry a grammar book, they carry a dictionary or a phrase book. Why? Why do we need words and not grammar? Yes? So that you can communicate. Give me one so they can communicate how.
You have a word, you don't have a grammar,
Okay. So if I'm walking down the street in Oman and I need a bank, what would I do? Just bank or would I?
It's the same meaning here, so bank.
Okay, but I would also use somebody said gestures. I use body language. I go up to you and I say bank. Yeah? And what would you say? Who's this idiot? Bank? What would you say? You show me the bank, you point down there on your left, right, over the etc., etc., etc. If I was in Cairo and I said, bank, what might they think?
They might think it's a river.
They might think it's the river, the side of the river, the bank river. Probably they would. You get the idea. So, if we have basic vocabulary, we can actually communicate quite a lot. Yeah? But in order to make meaning much, much clearer, what do we need? We need grammar. So vocab is okay up to a point, but then of course we need grammar to make us more comprehensible to other people. In your first language, when you're a little baby, when you're a year old, 18 months old, what's the first thing that you say? It's vocab, isn't it? Yeah, mama, dada, milk, juice, whatever it might be. So you begin with vocabulary, and children pick up on the words which are actually around them. So how does it all actually happen? Children, when they're very young, in their first language, they begin to hear adults or their brothers and sisters, whoever it might be, using words as discrete units. So children will hear blah, 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 ball, blah, 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 milk, yeah, and they'll pick up on key words. Words which they can see, which they can understand, which they can smell, but all of the language around it, it goes in this ear and it comes out the other ear. Maybe it stops somewhere, but they pick up on the key words. And the key words are what? Sorry, again? The short ones, the simple ones, but they're all what? They're all nouns, they're all objects, they're all things which the children can see and touch and feel. At some point, children begin to ask what the word actually means. How does the child, and what does the child hear? That's a bottle that way. What does the child hear? Bottle. It hears everything, but it picks up on bottle. So when the child wants the bottle, what does it say? Point and say the word bottle, and scream and shout until it gets what it wants. Sorry? Not exactly the correct word, but they're getting there because they're beginning to develop an understanding of what words mean. And of course, when children get to the stage of reading, words are the key to building up knowledge and to build up information and skills. Without vocabulary, it's impossible to go very far with reading. You can understand grammar, but if you don't know what the words are, you're stuck. And of course, infants, young children, toddlers, they go through a period of very, very rapid vocabulary growth. If you have young children, or when you have young children, you're waiting for the day when little Ali or little Fatima says, Mama, Baba, you're waiting for that day, yeah? And then when you get that first word, there's an explosion. Over a very short period of time, loads and loads and loads of words start coming out. And Mummy and Daddy, do you know what he said today? He said this and this and this and this, and we get all excited by this rapid development in vocabulary growth. Unfortunately, in the language classroom, it doesn't happen. Little Ali and little Fatma don't have this rapid development of second or third language. Why not? Lady there? They don't hear the language because there's not enough in the language classroom, and yeah, there's no forcing of it. They don't need it. Yeah, it's just a mechanical exercise. Exactly, yes. Yeah, very important. Outside the classroom, they need their L1, their first language, to survive. Inside the classroom, they don't need it. They're just there because they have to be. Of course, when a child can actually raise their arm and point, the result will be very, very rapid increase in acquisition of vocabulary. Little babies, they can't move their arms very much, but when a child can actually do that, and point, yeah, Mummy and Daddy will respond. But if a child just screams, we don't know what they want. But the ability to point and and to become more tactile and more kinesthetic means that noun acquisition will increase very, very rapidly. And acquisition, of course, occurs through seeing and through touching. And just an example from Guess What, the new primary course which I mentioned earlier. We're asking students to listen and point. Or probably in the classroom you do it as listen and touch. And listen and point and repeat. It's very important that we get students to point. The teacher says bottle, or they listen to bottle, and then they repeat the word bottle. And this is what happens in real life. Children hear words again and again and again. Repetition is the key to learning. Vygotsky, who you may have heard of. Heard of Vygotsky? What nationality is Vygotsky? Russian. I think he's Russian, actually. Well, it could be Polish, I guess. Vygotsky said that children may use the same words as adults, but with different meanings, or different range of meanings within the word. Now, can you imagine, go back many years, and let's say you're 2 years old. Can you remember? Try. Imagine, you're 2 years old, okay, and you're playing with your toys. And one of your toys is a boat. Describe the boat to me. Okay? Water, the lady said. Describe the boat. What does it look like? Colourful, thank you. Good. Very colourful. Probably what colours? Red, green, yellow, bright? Good. Tell me something else about your boat. Hard. Made of? Maybe wood, maybe plastic. Nowadays I think it wouldn't be hard, I think it would be soft. Yeah, because when I have the boat in my hand, what will I do with it? Yeah, but as a 2-year-old, I pick up my boat, and what do I do with it? How do I play with it? But probably before I put it in the water, I put it in my mouth. Yeah? Or maybe I bang my sister with it. Yeah? Or maybe I bang myself with it. So it's probably not hard, it's probably soft. And yeah, maybe I throw it as well. Yeah? If I push it, what happens? If I push it with my thumbs, what happens? I might break it, but it's probably made of rubber, so what happens when I push it? Yeah, maybe it whispers to me, maybe it squeaks, maybe it makes a noise. Okay, so, as a 2-year-old, a boat is safe, it's colourful, it's small, and if I bang myself with it, I'm not going to start bleeding. Yeah, and if I chew it, yeah, it probably doesn't taste very nice, but it won't hurt me. And how big is it? Is it this big? Show me. How big is it? It's small like this. Okay. Now, come back to 2016, to your current age. Tell me, what's a boat? In what way?
Having a journey.
Okay, something to do with having a journey. Good. Yeah. Describe a boat to me. Yes? Huge! It's a love boat, did you say? What did you say?
Love boat.
Yeah, maybe it's a love boat. Yeah? What colour is it? White and blue, maybe. And if I bang it on my head, what happens? I can't do it because it's huge. The point I think Vygotsky was trying to make is that when children first learn a word, it only has one meaning. So a boat, if I'm 2 years old, is a small plastic toy. But now, I'm 58, a boat can be many different things. Yeah, I can go sailing on it, I can go cruising on it. Yeah, some boats have guns on them, some have fishing nets on them, some are very big, some are not so big, and so on. So through experience, my understanding of the word boat, the different meanings, actually increases over time.
Of course, you can add metaphorical meaning to the words.
You can add?
Metaphorical meaning.
Yeah, and there's also metaphorical meaning as well. And of course, idiomatic usages. And it's very important that we as teachers remember that word meanings are dynamic. And what does that mean? Word meanings are dynamic. They're changing all the time, depending on what? Your experiences and where you see them and how you see them and how they're used and so on and so forth. Locke says that the ability to understand a word, the acquisition of meaning, takes longer than acquisition of the spoken form. And I think what Locke is saying is that children can repeat a word, they can say a word, but that doesn't mean they understand what it actually means. Yeah? So we can stand here. Does anybody speak Greek? Anybody speak Greek? Okay, I'll teach you very quickly a Greek word.
I know one word.
Go on.
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem, I think that's Latin.
Latin?
Yeah, don't worry. Okay, here's a Greek word for you. Yassas. Everybody say it?
Yes.
Louder.
Yes.
You have no idea what you're saying, do you? But you're able to repeat the word. What was the word? Yassas. It actually means hello. And also goodbye. Therefore, as a result of this, the ability to produce language races ahead of comprehension.
Sometimes we have names. The same one children be used same as us.
Yep. Yep.